Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a tutorial for Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together. So this is a game that has been released many times, over many years, over many consoles, and it's a really fun game I often come back to. We're streaming it now on a Friday as well, and it's just a really cool game that's also quite difficult. So I wanted to do a tutorial to help you guys get up to speed and get up to scratch with this game, so that when you join us on a Friday you can really help us out. If you like this video, please leave a like and also subscribe if you're new. It really helps us out and I really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let me get on to the video and the tips. So first of all, you need to understand a few basics of the mechanics of the game. So there's three things that you'll need to manage and keep on top of. They are health, sanity and hunger. Health goes down when you get hit, as you can expect. When your health runs out, you die. Your sanity goes down at certain periods and certain events, so if you eat raw meat, or if it's dark, or if you're out in the dark, then you'll lose your sanity. When you go insane, you'll see your hallucinations and they'll start attacking you, and certain things will look different, like rabbits will change to beardlings, etc. And there's also hunger, as you can guess, don't starve. Hunger goes down over time like it does in real life, and you'll need to get food to make sure that hunger is full. When that's at the bottom, you'll lose health and eventually die. In order to keep on top of these three mechanics, there's certain things you can do in the game which helps you retrieve some of that hunger or sanity or health you may have lost. A few tips that are helpful: eating petals will restore 1 HP, 1 of your health points. Picking a flower will restore 5 of your sanity points. With 12 flowers you can make a garland which will restore sanity over time but also decay. And you can find foods such as berries, cook them or eat them raw to survive. There are a lot more ways you can regenerate your sanity, health and hunger, but they're the three main ways that are available to you when you start the game, as you can see flowers all over the place and you'll see a lot of berry bushes or carrots that you can easily pick up and keep on top of those three things. So once you understand your sanity, health and hunger mechanics, you need to understand the day-night cycle. The day-night cycle is displayed in the top right of your screen with a little clock. So the yellow parts shows when the day is at its brightest, the sun is at its highest, and you can do the most without losing sanity. In the red part it's dusk, you can still see, but things are darker and you will lose sanity. And there is also the blue part, which is nighttime, where you will need a light source to survive. And you will also lose a lot of sanity in this period. So once you understand those mechanics, you want to look at your character. What's the best character for you? If you're a new player, the easiest character to play is Wilson. He's the all-round average best, so he can deal with the seasons really well. He can hit pretty hard, he's good for fighting, as well as has some natural abilities which help him deal with seasons or crafting certain things that aid long-term survival, so he's generally the best to learn the game with. Once you've mastered Wilson, I'd recommend moving to another character such as Woody or WX78, as these are still easy to play but have some different mechanics that makes them quite interesting. Woody can turn into a werebeaver and WX78 can upgrade his stats with gears, and they get really fun to play once you've gotten deep into them and mastered how they work as well. Ultimately though, your character choice should be based on how much you understand the benefits and drawbacks of that character. Understand what makes them good, understand what makes them bad, understand how best to play that character, and that's your best way of approaching any new play on Don't Starve. So when you spawn in a new world, you usually start in a grassy area with lots of trees, grass, twigs, flint and berries as well. But these are the essential items that you must get. You must be able to get twigs and grass as a minimum, and you must be able to craft something like an axe with some flint and twigs, and you must be able to get wood in some of these forms. And ultimately, you need to make sure when that clock turns to blue, the night time, you need to be able to have a light source, because if you're left out in the dark, Charlie, or the shadow monster as she's known, will hit you and kill you, and that'll be it, and that'll be horrible for you. So first of all, spend your first day making sure you've got a few materials, and I'd probably say at least 6 to 8 of grass, twigs, and wood as well. Make sure you can get an axe, make sure you've got a bit of food as well. Berries, carrots and seeds are really easy to come by. And once you get a bit better at the game, it's easier to come by other kinds of food as well, like rabbits or frogs or whatever it might be. But focus on gathering the basic resources to start with, worry about everything else later. So one of the last things you want to make note of and check out is the locations of your base. So you will want a primary base location to be able to put your science machine, your alchemy engine, your crop pot, your fridge, all the structures you're going to build basically. You may have multiple ones of these, but ultimately you're going to start somewhere. I'd always recommend near the beefalo. Reason being that the beefalo provide a lot of manure which is used in the farms and also to fertilise crops. As well as that, they're quite tough, so you can kite dogs towards them or the deer clops or wherever it is, so if you're in a sticky situation they can take it out instead. And there's often rabbit holes nearby, so you can often get food from rabbits as well if you use some traps, and there's often an abundance of grass as well. It's often just a really good location, to be honest with you, with a lot of resources that help you last long term. I know other people like other places, but to me personally that's always one of my go-to places. I never really look at anywhere else. So once you've found a good location to base, once you learn all the mechanics, once you get in your head in the game a little bit, you need to be aware of hound attacks. So hound attacks happen every 3 to 13 days, and they get harder and progressively more difficult the longer you're alive for and the more hound attacks you survive. These hounds will come out of nowhere, they will spawn in, and you'll have a warning about it. Your player will say something, and you'll also hear a barking in the distance that warns you hounds are going to come. So you can prepare for it. It's not like it's out of the blue, but you have a little bit, like about a minute to prepare, if that. They can come at night as well, so be prepared to have a torch on you as well. But a good tactic, if you base near the beefalo like I recommended, then you can kite the hounds to the beefalo and they will often attack the beefalo and the beefalo will just trounce them because the beefalo are hard as hell. So I would always recommend kiting them towards a beefalo, one of the advantages of the beefalo. But these guys drop monster meat and teeth as loot, and that's really good because you can make traps out of the teeth and you can actually eat the monster meat in your crock pot, so it provides another food source for you, as they don't really get too difficult after a while because you can just run away from them. Just try not to fight them head on if you've got a weak character, and if you do try them, fight them head on and make sure you've got armor, because otherwise they're going to rip straight through you. And you're going to need some good food to replace your health afterwards, or some good health replenishing items. I cannot play it like the hardcore expert way, but I roughly know how to do it because it is madly, crazily hard to do, especially if you have things like lag on Don't Starve Together. But we can do a guide on it if that's what you guys want to see. As I said, like the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Discord, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Mwah!